In a shocking surprise, Lila Shapiro, in her New York Magazine article, "The Man Who Gossiped Too Much," continues to explain the twist of events that occurred between that of John Nelson, aka Enty lawyer of the celebrity blind website Crazy Days and Nights, with his relationship with fellow podcaster Cassandra Cross. One would have thought that when his wife came into the picture, and definitely Cassandra, found out the truth that he was married, that relationship would have stopped just there. But no, it continued to go on. It continued to pick up speed. But in large part to the elaborate lies that John Nelson put out there. But let's take a listen. That visit lasted 3.5 weeks. He spent Christmas Eve with Cross's extended family and cooked dinner every night. He picked the kids up from school, cleaned their rooms, did laundry, took them to their therapy appointments. He started paying for the appointments too. Then, one day in January, he was acting weird, she recalled. He texted her saying that he was at a bar and needed to buy a phone charger. He didn't come back though. Over the next 24 hours, Cross sent him dozens of messages, pleading with him to call her. She told Nelson she loved him. When he didn't respond, she said she might be forced to go public about who he was and everything that happened between them. That seemed to do the trick. 10 minutes later, Nelson called and said that he was really in love with her, that his marriage was over, and that the divorce proceedings were underway. He claimed he returned back to California because he felt guilty about abandoning his daughters. Nelson said he would fly back to Florida later that month. When he failed to show up, Cross brought up a series of text messages his wife had sent her. It's stuff that you probably would never want to get out there, if I'm being honest, she wrote in a text. His wife had told her that he didn't know any celebrities and has never worked as an entertainment lawyer. He just wants to feel special, she'd written. He makes up lines. He's a grifter. Nelson said his wife was lying in order to make him unattractive to Cross. He returned for a visit at the beginning of February. They had schmucks. Nelson cooked dinosaur chicken nuggets for the kids. Once again, Cross said he'd returned indefinitely. He left for California after only 2 days. She said they never saw each other in person again. Over the next 9 months, Cross repeatedly threatened to tell the world what had unfolded between them if she learned that he had been lying to her. But she also told him that she loved him more than she ever loved anyone before. Nelson likewise told her that he had never done anything worthy enough to have someone like her as his wife. In the pub, she turned her laptop around and showed me the monthly Zoom invitations labeled Playtime. Every night, he literally was in front of me. Afterward, they'd watch the classic romantic comedy series The Love Boat together. In March, Nelson said he would be coming back to visit. He sent photographs from the Tampa airport, but he never showed. He told her he had to fly back home to deal with an emergency. She later realized he had found those photos online. He'd never been in Tampa at all. Whenever Cross confronted him, he had an excuse. He was stuck somewhere. His wife was drunk. His kids were missing school. Cross felt sorry for him and guilty for doubting him. When it came to men, she told me she had a history of burying her head in the sand. That summer, Cross asked Nelson for proof that he and his wife were really divorcing. Nelson emailed Cross what he claimed was a page from the divorce filings. She was reassured they began to make plans for Cross and her 3 children to move with him in California. Nelson made a shared Google spreadsheet to help them stay organized. In October, he sent her the names of the schools where the kids could go and told her he talked to the administrators. He also told her he booked a flight to Florida and would drive her and the kids back to California. Cross pulled her kids out of their special needs medical therapy they spent on a wait list to get in for. She notified the children's schools that they would be leaving in the middle of the school year. The teachers arranged goodbye parties. Relatives gathered at her grandfather's house to see her off. She said goodbye to her grandfather in knowing she'd never see him alive again, Julie said. The whole family is up there crying their eyes out. In November, after Cross had packed all of her belongings, Nelson texted her that his flight to Tampa had been delayed, and then texted her to say that it had been delayed once more. I have been on the phone with AA for the past hour, he wrote. The next day, he wrote that he'd arrive that afternoon. I love you, he said.